Hi everyone, so Hype is here, and today we are kicking off a brand new series where we dive deep into Scrum, one of the most popular frameworks in Agile. But before we dive deep into the nitty-gritty of Scrum, I want to give you a quick introduction to Agile itself. So if you have been hearing about Agile and Scrum and you are wondering what is all the buzz about, you are in the right place. So what is Agile? In the simplest term, Agile is a way of working that values flexibility, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Instead of spending months planning a project in detail before doing anything, Agile encourages us to start small, get feedback quickly, and adapt as we go. It's like building a plane while flying it. Challenging, but it's rewarding when it's done properly. Scrum breaks down work into manageable chunks, called sprints, which usually last about 2 to 4 weeks. At the end of each sprint, you have a product or a feature that could be delivered or shared with the stakeholders to get feedback on and to improve in the next sprint. But what really sets Scrums apart are the values and principles that guide it. Scrums emphasizes transparency, inspection, and adaptation. This means everything is visible to everyone involved. Progress is always checked, and adjustments are made as needed. The goal is to keep improving continuously. Now you might be wondering, what is the difference between Agile and Scrum? Think of Agile as the mindset. It's the overarching approach to working in a flexible, collaborative way. Scrum, on the other hand, is one specific framework within that Agile mindset. It gives you a structured way to apply Agile principles to your work. So you can be Agile without using Scrum, but you cannot do Scrum without being Agile. To sum it up, Agile is all about staying flexible, working together, and continuously improving. Scrum gives you a clear, practical way to put this idea into action. And let me tell you, once you see the result, there is no turning back. I'm excited to dive deeper into Scrum with you in this series. Until next time, stay curious, stay flexible, and stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. In the last video, we covered the basics of Agile and Scrum. Today, we are diving deep into the Scrum framework itself. We are going to cover the 5 key Scrum events, how a typical sprint is structured, and the importance of timeboxing. First, let's talk about the Scrum event. There are 5 key events in Scrum, and each is very important to make sure that the team is aligned and the project is on track. These 5 events are the sprint planning, the daily, the sprint review, the sprint retrospective, and the sprint itself. So let's break them down. A sprint is a time box period, usually 2 to 4 weeks, during which the team works on a specific set of tasks with the goal to delivering a potential shippable product and increment by the end of the sprint. The sprint is where all the planning, collaboration, and the hard works come together to produce a tangible result. The sprint is the heartbeat of starts with the sprint planning. This is the meeting where the team plans what work will be done during the upcoming sprint. The product owner presents the most important items from the product backlog. The product backlog, by the way, is a dynamic list of everything that needs to be done to deliver the product. And I will be sharing more in a future video. And then the team will check together what can they deliver realistically during this sprint. The goal is to come out of this meeting with a clear sprint goal and a sprint backlog. Next up is the daily Scrum, often called the daily stand-up. This is a short 15 minutes meeting that happens every day during the sprint. The goal here is to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Each team member answers 3 questions. What did I do yesterday? What I'm doing today? And are there any blockers preventing me from doing my task today? The daily Scrums help the team to align quickly and help each other to remove any blockers they have. And coming to the end of the sprint, we have the product review. The product review is a meeting where everyone joins the meeting, the product owner, the stakeholders, and also the team. It's an opportunity for the team to present their work, to show the stakeholders what have been built, and also for them to gather the feedback from the stakeholders, and to make sure that what they are building is aligning to their expectations. After the sprint review that was focused on getting the feedback about the product or the feature that the team built, what they built, we move to the sprint retrospective. Here the focus is how the team worked together. The main target here is to find out what went well during the sprint, what didn't went well, and what the team they can do together to do better in the coming sprint. The retrospective is a key part of Scrum's focus on continuous improvement. It's not just about identifying problems, but finding a better way to work together. Now let's talk about time boxing, an important concept in Scrum. Time boxing means setting a fixed amount of time for each Scrum event. For example, sprints are time boxed to ensure that the team is delivering value in short and manageable cycles. Sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and retrospective are all time boxed as well. Having time boxing helps the team to stay focused, prevents meeting from dragging on, and encourages quick actions. To sum it up, the Scrum framework is built on 5 key events that keeps the team aligned, focused, and continuously improving. From planning the sprint to delivering the product increment, every event serves a specific purpose in driving the project forward. And with time boxing, Scrums ensure that everything happens within a set of time frame, keeping the momentum going and making sure that the whole team is aligning on their goals. I hope this video helped you to get a clear picture about Scrum framework and how it's all fit together. If you have any question about Scrum event or time boxing, drop them in the comment below. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, stay focused and stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. So far we covered the basic of Scrums and the Scrum framework that keeps everything running smoothly. Now we are going to dive into the heart of any Scrum project, the Scrum team. In this video, we're going to cover the 3 roles in Scrum: Product Owner, Scrum Master, and the development team, and explore how they all work and collaborate together to make sure they create a successful project. First, let's talk about the Product Owner. The Product Owner acts as the captain of the ship. They are responsible of steering the project in the right direction. Their main job is to maximize the value of the product by managing the product backlog. They decide what features to build next, prioritize tasks, and make sure that the team is working on the most valuable things. The product owner is the voice of the customer and the business, ensuring that what the team is delivering aligning with the stakeholder expectation. Now let's move to the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master's role is to facilitate the Scrum process and remove any obstacles that might slow the team down. They are not the boss of the team, but rather a servant leader who helps the team to stay on track. This includes organizing Scrum events like daily stand-ups, sprint planning, and retrospectives. The Scrum Master also coaches the team in Agile practices and ensures that everyone is following Scrum principles. Finally, we have the development team, and these are the members who roll their sleeves up and get things done. A development team is a self-organizing group of professionals who are responsible for delivering a shippable product and increment at the end of each sprint. What is great about Scrum is that the team has the autonomy to decide how to achieve the work. There is no micromanagement here, just trust and collaboration. The development team includes all the skills needed to get the job done. Whether it's coding, testing, or design, they can manage it. Now what makes Scrum really powerful is how these roles work together. The product owner sets the vision and priority. The Scrum Master ensures that there is nothing preventing the team from being successful, and the development team focus on building the product. It's a continuous cycle of collaboration, feedback, and improvement. When each role plays their role effectively, it creates a team that can adapt to any change and deliver a great product. To make this work, communication and trust are the keys. The product owner needs to trust the development team to deliver on the vision. The Scrum Master needs to trust the team to follow Scrum practices. And the team needs to trust each other to collaborate effectively. It's this trust that empowers the team to self-organize, solve problems together, and continuously improve. So to wrap it up, the Scrum team is built by 3 main roles: Scrum Master, Product Owner, and the development team. Each has a unique, different role, but equally important to make sure that the product is being delivered in the best quality. By understanding and respecting these roles, and by fostering a culture of collaboration and trust, you can make Scrum work for your team and achieve amazing results. I hope this video helped you to understand roles and responsibility in a Scrum team. Until next time, keep learning and stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. In our last video, we explored the role and responsibility within a Scrum team. In this video, we are going to zoom in one of the most crucial parts of Scrum, the product backlog. We will dive into what it is, why it's important, how to maintain it, and how to prioritize it, and also how to write effective user stories to make sure that your backlog is in a great shape. Let's get started. First question, what is a product backlog? The product backlog is a dynamic list of everything that needs to be done to deliver a product. It's the single source of truth for the team, outlining all the features, enhancement, bug fixes, and technical work that the product requires. The product owner is responsible for managing the backlog, ensuring that it's always up to date and prioritized according to the needs of the stakeholders and the business. The product backlog is crucial because it provides clarity and focus for the team. It's not just a to-do list, it's a living document that evolves as the project progresses. As new information comes in, the product backlog is updated to reflect the new understanding of what is needed. This flexibility allows the team to make sure always they are building what the customer really requires, and also they are focusing on to the work with the highest return on investment. Now let's talk about backlog refinement, one of the most important practices in managing a product backlog. Backlog refinement, also known as grooming, is about reviewing and updating the backlog. This involves breaking down large items into smaller, more manageable pieces and reprioritizing items based on the latest information. The goal is to ensure that the product backlog is always in a ready state. This means that the items on top are well understood and ready to be picked in the next sprint. And during refinement sessions, the product owner works closely with the development team to ensure that everyone has a clear understanding of what needs to be done and why. It's a collaborative effort that helps the team stay aligned and prepared for the upcoming sprints. Best practices for refinement include involving the whole team and keeping the session focused and time-boxed. Now let me introduce you to user stories and how to write an effective user story for your product backlog. User stories are short, simple descriptions of a feature or requirement from the perspective of the end user. A good user story typically follows the format of, as a user, I want a feature so that I have this benefit. This format ensures that the focus is always on delivering value to the end user. Small stories are easier to estimate and complete within a sprint. Testable stories allows the team to confirm that the feature works as expected, and valuable stories ensure that every piece of work directly benefits the user or the business. It's also a good idea to include acceptance criteria, clear conditions that defines when a story is considered done. This helps the team to know exactly what needs to be delivered. To sum it up, the product backlog is the backbone of your Scrum process. It's where all the work to be done is captured, refined, and prioritized to ensure that your team is always working on the most valuable tasks. By refining the backlog and writing clear, accountable user stories, you can keep your team focused, aligned, and ready to deliver great products. I hope this video gives you a solid understanding of product backlog and how to manage it effectively. Until next time, keep your backlog refined and your user story clear. And of course, stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. In the last video, we covered the product backlog and how to keep it in shape. In this video, we're going to talk about the most important part in the Scrum process, the sprint planning. What is the sprint planning all about? Why it's important? How to estimate work effectively? And how to set a clear goal to guide the team through the sprint. Let's start. First, let's get an overview about the sprint planning. So the sprint planning is the first thing start in the sprint, where the whole team sit together and they decide what they're gonna develop or build during this sprint. The goal is to create a plan that everyone agrees on and that sets the team up for success. Sprint planning is a must because it makes sure that the team is aligned on what needs to be done, how they are going to do it, and why it matters. During the sprint planning, the product owner presents the highest priority items from the product backlog. The team then discusses those items in detail, estimates the work required, and decides how many of them can be realistically completed within a sprint. The goal is to leave the meeting with the sprint backlog. It's a list of tasks that the team commit to delivering by the end of the sprint, and a clear sprint goal that guides the team efforts. Now let's talk about estimating work. It's a crucial part in the sprint planning as it helps the team to understand how much effort is required for each task. One technique for estimating work is using story points. Story points are a relative measures of the complexity and effort involved in completing a task. Instead of thinking about time, the team thinks about how difficult or easy a task is compared to others they have done before. An example is assigning 1, 3, 5, or 8 points to tasks based on their complexity, or t-shirt size, small, medium, large, or X-large based on their complexity. Another effective technique is planning poker. Planning poker is a fun and interactive way to estimate work as a team. Each team member is given a set of cards with different story points value. The product owner presents a user story, and then the team discuss it together briefly. Then each person selects a card that represents their estimation. Everyone reveals their card at the same time, and if there is a different estimation, the team discuss it together and define the why behind it. This process helps the team arrive to a number, combining all their perspectives and get more accurate results. Finally, let's talk about the sprint goal. It should be short and clear statement to guide the team through the sprint to know what they need to achieve. It's not just a to-do list, it's the why behind the work. A good sprint goal gives the team a clear focus during the sprint. For example, if the sprint goal is to improve the user onboarding experience, the team knows that everything they do should contribute to that outcome. To create an effective sprint goal, make sure it's specific, measurable, and achievable within the sprint. It should be directly linked to the product backlog items you have selected and should provide a sense of purpose for the team. During the sprint goal acts as a guiding star, helping the team stay focused and alive, even if unexpected challenges arise. To wrap it all up, sprint planning is your team's opportunity to set the stage for a successful sprint. By estimating work, creating a realistic sprint backlog, and setting a clear sprint goal, you ensure that everyone knows what they are doing, why they are doing it, and how they are going to get there. With these practices in place, your team is ready to hit the ground running and deliver great results. I hope this video gave you a solid understanding to the sprint planning and how to make the most of it. Until next time, keep planning, stay flexible, and of course, stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. In the last video, we covered the sprint planning and how to manage it effectively. In this video, we're going to cover a key element of Scrum, the daily Scrum, also known the daily stand-up. This short daily meeting is important to make sure that the team is aligned and on track. In this video, we will cover what is a daily meeting, why it's important, and how to conduct an effective one, and how to address blockers that might come up during the sprint. Let's dive in. Let's start with the purpose of the daily Scrum. The daily Scrum is a quick 15 minutes meeting held at the same time every day during the sprint. The goal is simple: to ensure that the entire team is aligned, to check the progress toward the sprint goal, and to identify any obstacles that could slow the team down. It's a chance for the team to synchronize, plan for the day ahead, and make sure everyone is on the same page. During the daily stand-up, the team answered 3 questions. What did I do yesterday? What I'm doing today? And are there any blockers preventing me from delivering my tasks today? These questions help keep the meeting focused and ensure that everyone knows what is happening. The daily Scrum is not just about sharing updates. It's about making sure that the team is moving in the same direction and identifying any issue early so they can be addressed before they become bigger problems. Now let's talk about conducting effective stand-ups. To get the most out of your daily Scrum, it's important to keep things short and focused. Start on time and stick to the 15 minutes time box. If deeper topics are needed, they should happen after the daily Scrum with only the relevant team members. This keeps the stand-up effective and respectful to everyone's time. Another best practice is to keep the team engaged and accountable. Encourage everyone to speak directly to each other. This fosters a sense of ownership and collaboration. It's also helpful to stand up during the meeting. This might sound simple, but it actually helps keep the meeting brief and to the point, which is why it's often called the stand-up meeting. Finally, let's talk about blockers. These obstacles can slow down progress or stop it altogether. Identifying blockers early is one of the main goals of the daily Scrum. When someone mentions a blocker, the team should help to remove it as fast as possible. The Scrum Master can guide the team in finding solutions or escalate the issue if needed. To handle blockers effectively, create an open environment where team members feel comfortable sharing their challenges. If a blocker is complex and requires more discussion, take it offline after the daily scrum. This ensures that the stand-up stays within the time box while still giving important issues the attention they need. In summary, the daily scrum is a powerful tool for keeping your team aligned, focused, and proactive. By conducting effective stand-ups, keeping the team engaged, and addressing blockers quickly, you can make sure that your team stays on track and delivers on their sprint goal. I hope this video gives you valuable tips on running an effective daily scrum. Until next time, keep your daily short, your team aligned, and of course, stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. In the last video, we covered the daily Scrum and how to manage it effectively. In this video, we are covering one of the coolest for me personally event in Scrum, where the team has the opportunity to present their work to the product owner and the stakeholders in the sprint review. In this video, we will explore why a sprint review is important, how to engage with stakeholders effectively, and best practices for presenting completed work. Let's dive in. Let's start with the purpose of the sprint review. The sprint review happens at the end of the sprint, and it's all about showing the progress your team has made. But it's not just a demo, it's a workshop where the team and stakeholders come together to review the product increment, discuss what has been achieved, and gather feedback. The goal is to ensure that the product is evolving in the right direction and that everyone is aligned on what is next. And during the sprint review, the team presents the increment. The increment is the sum of all the product backlog items completed during the sprint. This is a potential shippable product, meaning that it's in the state where it could be released if the product owner decides it's valuable enough. The sprint review is not just about showing what has been done. It's about getting feedback that can influence future work. It's a crucial part of the iterative process that makes Scrum so effective. Next, let's talk about involving stakeholders. Engaging stakeholders effectively is key to a successful sprint review. This is their chance to see what the team has been working on and provide input that can shape the product's direction. To make sure stakeholders are fully engaged, it's important to prepare them in advance. Send out an agenda before the meeting so they know exactly what to expect, and make sure they understand the goal of the sprint review. It's not just a demo, it's a collaboration. And during the sprint review, encourage stakeholders to ask questions, provide feedback, and discuss their thoughts on the product increment. Their insights are important to make sure that the product meets their needs and expectations. But remember, the sprint review is a two-way street. It's also an opportunity for the team to share their progress, challenges, and what they plan to work next. This transparency helps build trust and keep everyone aligned. Finally, let's discuss how to showcase the increment effectively. The way you present your work during the sprint review can make a big difference in how stakeholders perceive the progress. Start by clearly explaining what the sprint goal was and how the complete work aligned with the goal. Then demonstrate the product increment, show the features you have built, explain how they work, and highlight any key decisions or changes made during the sprint. Best practices for showcasing the increment include keeping it interactive, letting stakeholders see and interact with the product, asking for their feedback in real time, and being open to discussions. Also, focus on the value delivered rather than just the technical details. Explain how the features solve problems or add value to the end user. This helps stakeholders see the impact of the work and make the review more meaningful. To wrap it all up, the sprint review is an important part of the Scrum process that goes beyond just sharing the progress. It's about involving stakeholders, gathering feedback, and ensuring that the product is on the right track. By preparing effectively, engaging stakeholders, and showcasing the increment in a way that highlights its value, you can make the sprint review a powerful tool for collaboration and continuous improvement. I hope this video gives you a clear understanding how to run an effective sprint review. Until next time, keep learning and stay agile. Hi everyone, welcome back to our Scrum series. Today we are diving deep into one of the most important parts of Scrum, the sprint retrospective. Retrospectives are your team opportunity to reflect on the sprint. Gather feedback, identify what went well, and also figure out what can be done better in the future. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to conduct effective retrospectives, share some techniques for gathering feedback, and help you turn these insights into accountable changes that will improve your future sprints. First off, what exactly is a retrospective? At the end of every sprint, your team comes together to discuss what worked well, what didn't, and how things can be improved. This is not just about pointing out problems, it's about fostering a culture of continuous improvement. The goal is to create a safe place where everyone feels comfortable sharing their thoughts and where constructive feedback leads to positive change. Let's start with preparing for the retrospective. Before the meeting, make sure everyone has had the chance to think about the sprint and any feedback they want to share. You might even send out a quick survey or ask team members their thoughts ahead of time. This ensures that everyone comes to the meeting prepared and that the meeting is focused and productive. Now, during the retrospective, it's important to use structured techniques to gather feedback. One method is the start, stop, continue approach. This technique involves asking the team to identify things they should start doing, stop doing, or continue doing. It's a simple yet effective way to organize feedback and ensure that all aspects of the sprint are covered. Another great technique is the 4 L's: loved, learned, lacked, and longed for. This method encourages the team to reflect on what they loved about the sprint, what they learned, what they felt was lacking, and what they longed for. It's more emotional and personal approach that can uncover deeper insights into team dynamic and project challenges. Once you have gathered feedback, the next step is to identify accountable insights. This is where the magic happens, turning feedback into concrete steps that will improve your next sprint. Focus on specific accountable items rather than broad statements. For example, instead of saying communication needs to be improved, try something like let's start a daily 10 minutes check-in for team leads to address any blockers. The more specific your actions are, it's better to really have the improvement. It's also important to prioritize these actions. Not everything can be tackled at once, so work with your team to decide which improvements will have the biggest impact. You can use techniques like dot voting, where team members place dots next to the actions they believe are most important to help prioritizing. Finally, make sure you are tracking the implementation of these changes. Assign honor to each actions item and check in to see how things are progressing. In the next retrospective, revisit these actions to discuss what worked, what didn't, and what adjustments are needed. This continuous loop of feedback and improvement is what makes Agile so powerful. And now, to wrap it up, effective retrospectives are all about creating a safe space for honest feedback, using structured techniques to gather insights, and turning these insights into specific accountable improvement. By doing this, you are not only improving your team's performance, but also fostering a culture of continuous learning and growth. I hope this video gives you practical tips on how to make the most out of your sprint retrospective. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep improving, and of course, stay agile.